I'd share with you how I memorize a piece of music. This can apply to multiple things in life, not just music, but how to really get something a part of your being, if it's something that you want in your life. And with music specifically, how to get a piece part of your fiber, like not just reading what's written, but really be able to tap into the tune and the mood of the music, and really how to make it your own. The secret is, there is no secret. Like anything, it's like Martha Stewart says, the secret to having a clean house is to clean it. There is no secret to it suddenly being done. It just takes the doing of it. That has been a big breakthrough with me for music, is to just do it. And sometimes it just seems like such hard work, and it just takes breaking it down. I remember a teacher years ago encouraging me with a harder piece of music just to break it down into small chunks. Go over that one section over and over and over again until it felt comfortable and natural to play. So typically what I will do is I will play it and I will play it, the one small section, until I think I have it. Then I play it 5 times without any mistakes. At that point in time, then it's part of my fiber, part of my being, and it can be like anything in life, like just getting into a routine, getting into good practice habits. Like any good habit, the more you practice it, the more it becomes part of who you are. It just becomes second nature. You don't even have to think about it. So one way I do this is by always having a harder piece of music to work on. It's like that piece of music works as my sharpener. And it's kind of like my easy button. And I have no intention of actually learning that piece. Like that piece is literally just to have something challenging that I'm working on so that everything else seems easy. When I learn that piece, because inevitably over time it happens, even though that's not my plan, in some ways it becomes easier just because I have less pressure on myself to learn it in the first place. But over time, the byproduct of that is that I end up learning the piece. At that point, okay, I add that to my repertoire, I move on to something else. Again, no agenda of actually learning the piece particularly, just that is my sharpener piece to make everything else seem more attainable. So for a long time, that piece for me has been Stairway to Heaven. And now that I've learned the piece, now I am committing it to memory. And I have much of it committed to memory at this point. I'm kind of fine-tuning some of the transitional pieces and deciding whether or not I want to incorporate the guitar solo part. I've heard a number of different takes on this, and so I'm just deciding what works for me, what feels natural to me as an artist. So at this point, so here's an example of committing a segment to memory, and not just memory, but part of my being, so that I can then put my own feeling and emotion into it. So a lot of it with this piece and any piece really is finger placement. That's another part of the muscle memory, is just getting that finger placement right. If I know where my fingers are going, I'm not going to have that hesitation with the music. And this is something that requires a lot of patience. So I have a lot of regard for Sylvia Woods, who arranged this piece of music, for just really getting it right. So I am following the basic Sylvia Woods arrangement, and then I've also listened to Led Zeppelin over and over and over again, their various performances of the piece, just to really get a feel for the energy of the song, and then I will put my own twist on it as well, so at the end it will be a conglomeration of all of that. And then once I have the fingering down and I have it memorized, then I can start putting inflection on it and put some mood into it, maybe fiddle with the timing a little bit, and make it more my own. have to be careful because sometimes when I do that, I then speed up. So timing is a really big thing on this one as well. So once I've gone over a certain section and I feel like I have my 5 times through how I want it, then I go back to the section before that and then I play the whole thing through. I go through the whole piece of music like this, and then I will go back to the beginning and play through to where I am. Sometimes I will do what another teacher had recommended years and years ago, which is to learn the end of a song first. This might just be like the very last measure, sometimes it's the whole last page, and by doing that it gives you a sense of accomplishment that you know where you're going. And by having that end in mind, it makes everything else easier. It gives a little bit more incentive to get through the piece when it might be easier to give up midway through. And most importantly, before coming to a challenging piece of music, I find that I have to shut out other distractions. By having a quiet mind, I'm able to focus more on what I'm doing instead of thinking about 5 million other things. It does require a lot of patience, but I find that sometimes learning a harder piece of music can not only make it easier to play other pieces of music that I'm working on, but also make other areas of my life easier. And so by having something challenging to work on, it makes everything else just seem much more routine and easy to handle. And I've actually found this to be a relaxation tip when there is a lot of stress to handle. If there's something routine that I can focus on and put my mind to, something challenging, it can sometimes make the other stressors in life seem a lot easier to handle. It's that sense of accomplishment that can be very rewarding and get us through harder times, whether that be music or other things in life. Break it down into sizable chunks, practice, 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 and really find enjoyment in that process and not be so focused on the outcome. When I get too focused on the outcome, it can be frustrating and I'll want to rush ahead, and this just really slows everything down, gets me on the page where I need to be and very present with what I'm working on. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting my channel, and I will see you again in another video soon. Bye-bye!